Hello guys, Armin Nishan here. So this video is going to be all about an overview to the Lambda console. So let's first go to the Lambda console. Right, again with whichever method you prefer. I like to just do this. And yes, I would land on the functions section, but you may actually land on the dashboard section if it's your first time using Lambda. So I'll just do that. So let's talk about the dashboard section for this video. All right. So first of all, as the name suggests, right, it should give you an overview, right? It should give you some charts, some metrics, some numbers that gives you a good overview or a good idea of, what resources you have under Lambda. So in this case, I'm currently in Singapore region. So we have, or Asia Pacific one, right? AP Southeast one region. And it says, hey, right, I have 10 Lambda functions. Or in other words, you can think of it as 10 separate scripts. And I have a total of 5.7 megabytes of code stored currently. And that's, barely, right, 1% of 75 gigs. So, it shows 0% here. So really, I have a lot more storage to take advantage of. So remember that, if you're using Lambda for your personal, use or even for a startup, you should really be fine with 75 gigs of storage. And of course, I think if you do need more, I believe you can create a support ticket to have it increased. And we do have interesting metrics: full account concurrency and unreserved account concurrency. We'll not get into these right now, but know that they're related to the scaling power of Lambda. Now let's talk about the account level metrics. All right, so basically these are metrics that occur at the account level, okay, not region level. So as you can see here that the charts below show metrics across all Lambda functions in this AWS region. So it does say that, it's really all the Lambda functions. Actually, I could be wrong. I think it's specific to the Singapore region. But yeah, to me, that's a little confusing because it says account level here. So I want to think it's, the whole account regardless of region. So I do think it's just specific to whatever region you're in. So depending on where you are, that is, or really depending on, where, what region you have chosen, right? Because when I use this console, I can go to wherever location I want, believe it or not. And if I do go to, for example, Seoul region, it should show nothing because I don't remember deploying anything there at all. So there we go, right? 0 Lambda functions. So let's go back to Singapore. Okay, so I'd like to highlight two, I would say more commonly, well, I wouldn't say more commonly, but two very useful metrics. So the first is invocations. This basically shows if your Lambda was invoked successfully or not, or in other words, executed successfully or not. So I think 1 represents a successful invocation, whereas 0 represents otherwise. The other very useful metric would be duration. So obviously, because for Lambda, you get charged based on how long your code executes for. So duration here is key to observing whether your functions are taking too long to execute or not, right? So if it is taking too long, you may want to check out what can be optimized to save cost there. So yep, feel free to have a look at other metrics, and remember that you have these filters to use. So you can explore that. You have custom, and remember you can choose the type of the time zones, whether it's UTC or your local time. So take note of that. And I would say the sections below here tend to be overlooked. So definitely explore these parts. What's new is nice because it gives you an update of what's new in Lambda. So one new feature that AWS released was the Lambda function URLs feature. So yeah, you can just click on that and read more about it. We will talk about this eventually in the playlist. Again, it's a pretty new feature, right? So you don't have to worry too much about it. But it does, in a way, make executing your function a bit easier. But there are many tools out there to make to expose your Lambda, to the internet, so you can trigger it. So if you don't understand what what I just said, that's fine. It's just a bit more advanced, and we'll get into those eventually. So definitely look up developer resources. Again, these may look a bit more advanced, but feel free to explore them. One thing that you should definitely check out is the FAQ section. These are questions that you may have had, as you went through this, my playlist. And these are probably the same questions that you may, think about in the future as you do more practice on Lambda. So definitely bookmark this page. The FAQ sections in general is very useful, regardless of the AWS service that you're learning. So that's pretty much it for the dashboard overview.